We are back.
We're back, and he's still bald.
Last episode we were talking about favorite ninjas.
Never really answered it.
Never really answered it. Kind of got in the spiel of more Naruto again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I really have a favorite ninja. What about you?
Hotsuma, always been one of my favorites. I wouldn't say he's
Who?
my... Hotsuma, that's this guy right here.
Guy. Right.
He's not my favorite, but he's definitely up there. Same with his brother. I would say my favorite just because he's been in so many different things. There's been so many adaptations of him, and he's actually from history. Hanzo Atari.
What's he?
Obviously he's in Samurai Warriors. He's obviously in that. He actually did exist in real life because that's Samurai Warriors. But there's also a lot of different versions of him.
You say that as that's what bars it as real history.
Well, you also know that Samurai Warriors...
You don't quote anything else. Like, this dynasty was like, he actually existed because Samurai Warriors. That's all I have to say to it. That's my footnote. If there's a college thesis, I just put Samurai Warriors.
I would totally do that, too. But you do know that they do use real people of history. I wouldn't say the exploits in the game are real.
It's high fantasy.
Yes.
It's very fantasy, but yeah,
they do
it's just
exist.
like Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure guys weren't...
They didn't murk 100 people.
Yeah.
Well, except for Lu Bu. But that was because he was, he poisoned bitches. That was really all he was good for. Yeah, he was tall for them. He was like, I would say close to 6 foot. Not actually 6 foot, but like back then, and in, as racist as it is, in China, that was tall as shit for everyone over there. And he was a master, if I remember correctly, archer as well as horseback rider. And he would just dip his arrows and his weapons in poison and just like, you're cut, and you all die. So he had a high kill count only because he literally poisoned everything.
Yeah, if it works.
Oh no, I'm not like denying that. It's just like everyone like in the games obviously makes him out to be like this big badass because he would be able to fight duels, and it was just mainly because he could kill them without them fighting back. Which again,
to see if that guy dropped life.
Yeah, I am getting pretty bad.
I am pretty sure you've left so many scenes of killing somebody.
Oh yeah,
and not picked up the life.
Because I'm also playing with the idea of... I've also played this on hard mode, where it's you have to keep moving because your energy falls quick. I mean, look, I've been moving pretty quickly and I'm already at halfway point, or less than halfway.
That's true.
So
I think doing combos like this gets you more of the...
It does give you that, but it doesn't always give me health, which sucks. I wonder if I can get hit.
I was gonna say this is there we are. There's the platform.
That didn't help.
I was gonna say, oh my god, you're already back here.
Oh, that didn't take that long.
About Lu Bu poisoning things. The only thing it's so sad because the first thing that came to my mind was like, oh, I guess it's not D&D rules of you got to reapply the poison every time you do something. It's only one use.
Well, with arrows, god.
Well, the arrow, yeah, it's one use, but a sword, you'd have to reapply the poison with every slash.
God, poison in D&D is useless.
And the fact that you don't let us bend the rules on that. Because again, if you don't know, the kid also does D&D campaigns where I myself, our friend Mr. Pink from the Humble Bumble channel, and a couple of other friends do a D&D campaign where one we have, it's a pretty extensive, which I really like, of the world you kind of created. It's kind of like 3.5S.
That one?
Yeah. I forgot what you call it. It's like the Lost with Pathfinders. It's not Pathfinder rules.
Yeah, I remember Forgotten Path or something like that.
Yeah, Forgotten Path, that's it. And right now we're doing the Resident Evil one. Well, I guess that one's kind of different. We don't really deal with poison.
Yeah, you don't point...
I mean, you let us bend some rules, but... for some reason, you never let us bend the poison rule.
You want to know why? Because poison is almost useless in D&D. The idea is fun, but it's all long-term events. And you guys kill everything and almost any NPC, so there's no point in poisoning anyone.
Depending on the campaign,
that's true.
I know.
That campaign, you literally do not poison, or you do not kill anyone.
I know. I'm a child monk.
But...
There's a little point up there.
I, again, don't care.
Get it!
No. But most of the inexpensive poisons are... They give fatigue, or they do like 1d4 damage for like 1d4 turns. I know it's stuff that adds up, but it's not that effective. However, the bigger stuff cost like 1,000 per coat. 1,000 gold per coat of like once.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's worth it if we can coat it once and you're like, okay, this lasts X amount of rounds.
I would have to then, if it...
Or let us roll a die and be like, okay, that's how many times it can be used on somebody. Like, if you roll a 6-sided D6,
all right,
and
do you
it
also...
leads on a 5, and you're like, all right, that's going to work against 5 people, and that's... You don't get to pick. It's like, if you hit him with that weapon, that's a use, that's a use, that's a use. So you would have to have it on the special dagger, and then basically, you swift or whatever you have to go to grab the special dagger and whatnot. And
I just always coded a different throwing weapons. That's all. It was the easiest way to make it work. Just get a bunch of different throwing daggers, coat the sheaths with the poison, and then just go at it. But there's also another rule you're completely forgetting about, and it's the fact that if you're not proficient with poison use, you have a 50% chance to poison yourself.
I like how you say completely forgetting as if I know the rules.
I know, but
I've
told you about this. I've told you about
You tell me a lot of things that I don't remember any of them. How many times have we been in a conversation?
How many times have you like, I would like to do this attack in D&D, and I'm like, well, it's like this, and you're like, really? And I'm like,
oh yeah,
yes.
There's been a lot. I remember the first time really playing. We got into pretty heated arguments about how magic should work. Where there's many times I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, that was also your first. I remember the first time you played. I looked at you. I pulled you to the side. I'm like, magic sucks, especially at low levels. Are you sure you want to go into this half magic character? You're like, yeah, I want to do this because it's going to work. And then you started playing. You're like, this isn't how magic should work. And I'm like, that's how rules are made.
Because there were so many times where like I would set up this cool thing. You'd be like, that doesn't work that way. I'm like, how's it not work that way? How you have to point at the guy. I saw him before I set the fog. I made the fog. He's not moving. He's a fat king.
You don't know that. And there's someone could easily step in that direction. You could hit the like some bodyguard or something just because he's in front of you.
Yes.
Again, there's a lot of rules that apply to it, mainly because it's not to hinder the spell users, but it's because there become so many powerful spells later in the levels that they become so overpowered that they need those rules to make it fair for everyone else.
Did you see, I think, one of the D&D things I follow talk about like the 20 most useless magic.
I saw that, not through you, but someone else's post. I'm actually kind of mad. There are a lot of good spells in there.
I hope you're not talking about Basket Point, because that
was terrible. All of the undead ones pissed me off that they were on there, because all those are useful. They're like, how often do you fight undead? I'm like, fucking Christ, I've seen so many campaigns with only undead characters. And they're like...
but the thing was to make them glow.
No, not that one. I'm talking about Detect, and then there's another one is Disguise. They're like, when are you ever going to run into a Disguise undead to know? And I'm like, have you ever seen a fucking Lich before? They're just...
No.
They just
we've never come across those yet.
I know, because they're level fucking like 15 or higher levels. They are undead. They're
You're basically Sauron.
Dorian Gray, the guy who put his soul into a painting. That's what they are. They can't die if you kill them unless you find their life source.
Their anchor.
Yeah, their anchor. The anchor.
That guy got some six-pack. Look at that. Did you see that?
Him? Yeah.
He's ripped.
Of course he is. He's a fucking ninja. But yeah. So if you kill them, they roll a 1d4 and come back in those days. So they literally will never end. And I've seen.
Can I make a lich?
If we ever do a high-level campaign, we're evil. Yes, because they're all evils.
I've already played an evil character once.
That's true. I let you play. You want to tell the story of your evil character?
So,
that has nothing to do with Shinobi.
It's the same campaign that we were talking about my magic character. I was kind of like, well, I want to do Logi's physical attack. I feel like my physical attack. Years later, I realized the character I first made was actually great, and I completely regret throwing him away like I did. So I remake a character, and I always kind of like the paladin. Oh,
yeah. So he actually, the thing that I love about that was he went from a half magic user for debuffs into a half magic user for paladin. I'm like, you just traded away your cool magic abilities for shit magic abilities.
I did, and then even worse than that, I went Blackguard because you told me about that. I was like, oh, that sounds cool, foam paladin. And I've never played an evil character before, so I kept telling him, like, what's this evil? Is that missile have teeth?
Yes,
it's demon missile now.
It's the helicopter turned demon.
Ah, that's why it's on fire.
Hey, look,
it's
Snake.
the rider.
It's Snake.
It's not Snake.
It's Snake. It's
Naked.
better than Snake.
First thing, it'd be Big Boss. So if you're gonna insult me, use the correct terms.
I don't fucking know terms from Metal Gear Solid.
He didn't have the eye patch until he was really well. I mean, it's the end of the game. Yes.
Get back here!
Because spoiler alerts if you haven't played Metal Gear 3.
I'm sorry.
He's Naked Snake throughout the game, and then really at the end you get the eye patch.
I just wish he like took it from someone, not because like he got sad in the eye, but
I can't remember how he got it. I
didn't
remember
someone-
how he lost his eye.
Wasn't-
I don't remember getting the eye patch. But again, it's been a long time since I played 3.
because he was tortured, and that's how he got
He
lost
was
the eye.
tortured,
Badly.
and I think Ocelot was going to kill him, and I think it was Big Boss, the female,
Yeah, the original Big Boss.
knocked him, and this gun kind of went off, and it just took out your eye instead, which was great. Because this is one of my favorite things that's really sold me about Metal Gear was, have you ever? I go on tangents. I really apologize about this. It's hard.
We
to
were
follow
on
me.
D&D, and now we're on Metal Gear.
No, it's hard to follow me. You ever done something where like you're playing something, you're like, it'd be really cool if this did this, if X did Y.
Oh, and you're thinking about looking down the sights of your gun.
Yes.
And
when you lost the eye, I'd be like, it'd be really great if I went in the first person mode and I saw the vision of what it would be like with the one eye, and then I did it and it was like that. And I just remember sitting there going like, holy crap, that is amazing. It's such a small touch to the game, but it's amazing because there's been so many times the game's like, oh, you only have this now. And I'm like, oh, well, it really doesn't change gameplay at all, other than aesthetics.
Yeah.
I just look different. That team helicopter's kind of got you on the ropes. The Ghost Rider helicopter.
Oh God! You really just
He just stood there and talked to you.
too bad.
Oh,
Fuck
there
you.
you go.
Yeah, I was like
Why,
doing the
you kill it, though?
bosses. Yeah, I killed it with it.
I don't know. Without your sister coming in throwing the dagger, where
Finally
were you
did
this
something.
time? They both just
Looking
there?
after. Yeah, they were looking after Snake. Anyway.
He'd be lucky to be.
Anyway, going back to the story, he made an evil
Okay,
paladin.
back to D&D.
And he never played an evil character. I'm like, you have to be evil. Like, if you're going to be this Blackguard class, you have to be evil. These are kind of stereotypical evil points of this. And I made him come in as, like, kind of like a slave, a tool to be used for the storyline, but it introduced his character. And I was like, all right, well, maybe he'll have, like, redemption. And then everyone on the team treated him like shit.
They really did.
It got worse and worse until the fact that...
And a fair point to them, I never was addicted to them. Like, I did, like, the tough grunt stuff. Like, I tried to intimidate them. But they were just, like, they never removed the shock collar. That's what pissed me off most. The pirates that I was the slave to had, like, a shock collar to kind of keep me in guards. And one of the people, my teammates, got it. And I kept yelling at them, take this damn thing off me, take this damn thing off me. They're like, no, we're going to keep it on. And they kept shocking me.
They always shocked you at the most inconvenient times, too.
They really did.
Like, you were being carried away by a gargoyle.
And it dropped me.
No, what was worse is I turned to the person who had the shock collar, who had the shock collar control. I'm like, hey, he's being lifted up. You know that shock collar conducts. And she's like, oh, that's a good idea. And activated. And what happened was it got shocked for like 4 damage, and then you got dropped like 20, 30 feet and took like 10 damage from it.
Yep.
And you were just livid. You're like, nope. And at the end of the game, we got to the final boss, he turned to the boss and was like, I'll help you out if you release me and give me power.
Yep.
And he turned on the team.
I killed him.
Killed
I butchered
most of the
our
team.
magic user.
You butchered a lot of people. Well, it did come down to him losing, quote unquote. But oh
Yeah.
my god, that was intense. I loved it.
It really was, and the magic user I used that killed me, the one that kept shocking me, was pretty upset when I did that.
Yeah.
I heard later on she was
not happy with
not
you.
happy at all.
Oh my god, dog with the swords.
Dog with swords. See this? All right, this is where I eventually started giving up. The mall, I guess. I don't know what this is. I assume it's a mall.
It's like a mall build. Yeah, it's a building complex mall.
And they all just have the same kind of, I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess art. I don't know what period this would be or what type of art that would be. I'm sure it has a name.
I hate these dogs because they have full defense.
Yeah, you have to go. You have to swing around.
Yeah, and I don't.
You really don't. You just kind of keep dashing at the head, and you have the Conan the Barbarian approach. I don't have to have skill. I'm just gonna keep swinging my sword as hard as I can,
and it works.
And one of us is gonna get tired, and I don't think it's gonna be me. That's the antithesis of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Conan the Barbarian. And my friend brought that up to me. He was like, because we went and watched the new Conan with I don't even remember who played it. It was a smaller Conan.
Oh, the newest one?
Yeah, the newest
that
one.
Was the guy, that was the guy who's now playing Aquaman. He was the guy...
he was
Drago? Game of Thrones. Yeah, Khal Drogo.
Is it Drago?
Khal Drogo.
Okay. Because when I say Drago, I think Rocky.
Ah, yeah. That's why it's Khal Drogo.
Khal Drogo, okay.
And then the dragon named after him is Drogon. Like dragon, I was like, wow, you bring a lot of brain cells with that, buddy.
So we watched it, and he was just more technical, and it wasn't a good movie.
It wasn't?
It wasn't.
That's sad.
The best part of it is when we saw the movie, we were the only 2 people in the theater. Legit. It wasn't like there were a couple others. There was no one else in the theater. So we just kept yelling out Crum, the god.
Crum?
Crum. I say Crum.
Crum. The fuck's Crum?
And we just keep doing the one line of, you won't help me? To hell with you! Just kept yelling that out in the theater. And he brought it up. He's like, all right, this is really the difference. Is he's a more technical fighter. He's looking for the spots your armor's not covering and going in for the stab. Where Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan was, I'm going to keep swinging my sword. Someone's arms are going to get tired. It's not going to be mine.
Well, yeah, look
Spoiler.
at this. All right.
Which, if you really want a good, have you watched it yet, Pumping Iron?
Yes. Yeah, you might.
If you really want to watch a good Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, watch Pumping Iron. It's about him and Lou Ferrigno and like people competing for the. Was it Mr. Universe? Was it Mr. Universe?
It was Mr. Universe, yes.
And because Arnold has like a degree in psychology, and he would just mentally destroy you. And he's sitting having dinner with like Lou Ferrigno's family, like his Lou Ferrigno's father and his mother, and it's like right before the competition. And Arnold's won like multiple competitions before, and Lou's always like coming second or something. And the father's like, "Oh, we're gonna do this. We'll bring him and kind of like get him distracted. We'll play mind games with him." And Arnold just destroys Lou, just obliterates. Oh, did you? Oh, I was about to say mine again. Just kind of like rips him apart, where he's kind of like. Basically, he's just kind of like, oh, you would know what a winners feel like if you stop coming in second.
Wasn't it like he's like, oh, you'll know that feeling one day?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, unfortunately we stretched over a little far on this one, talking about, Schwarzenegger. It's a good topic. So, what if Schwarzenegger Shinobi? How would you feel about that?
I would buy that game in an instant.
We'll catch you guys next time. If you enjoy us, you like us, please share us around, like, comment, subscribe. We will see you guys next time.
We'll be back. Like Schwarzenegger.